Hello friends. All right, I am going to put on some of my makeup today, just a little bit of a light coverage look. This is my One Compact completely customizable makeup. And I'm also hoping to kind of just demonstrate, because I think a question, or I know a lot of us are not really sure what the difference is between a contour and a bronzer. Some of us are. The placement's similar, so it can be a little bit confusing, but they do have their own separate purposes, and they can be worn, like you can wear contour by itself, or you can skip contour and just wear bronzer by itself. But they also look really, really good together because they do different things. And so I'm just putting on my, I guess, one of my highlight shades. This one's closer to my skin tone, so it's a little bit more like a foundation to kind of just even out, offer some coverage. It's a really, I'm using a very fluffy brush, so this is a really light coverage brush that I'm using, but I'm just kind of like offering myself some light coverage, and then I'm going to brighten up, and then I'll get to the contour and bronzer part. What was I saying before that? I don't know. All right, I'm gonna brighten up in some areas. Now, okay, so if you haven't heard of this makeup, it is Saint, and I am an artist with Saint. Most of you who are watching this probably know that. So if you want to try this, picking out your colors is probably it is the most difficult part. I don't think it's really something you can easily do online by just looking at the tints, because they're so concentrated, so they can be deceiving. So that is where I come in and I help you. I have a color match form, and I get a little bit of information on you, like what kind of coverage do you like? Are there any areas that you're trying to cover up or that you're distracted by, that sort of thing, so that I can just kind of get to know your makeup needs. But then also in that color match form, you upload a picture for me in good lighting, and it has all the instructions for that, and then I can help you pick out your colors. So I just took a shade that is considered my brightening highlight, and I just kind of strategically placed that towards the center of my face to brighten that up a little bit. So the corner of my eyes, middle of my forehead, a little bit down my nose. I also do kind of camouflage my broken capillaries. Okay, so I have sort of my base thing going on. Now I'm going to, how am I going to do this? I'm going to apply bronzer. Let's just do bronzer and then save the contour for last. And I'll just do one side of my face so you can kind of see the difference, what one's doing, what the other one's doing. This is my bronzer shade. I actually have an illuminator, a cream illuminator sitting right next to it, because I kind of like shimmery is the wrong word, but like a glowy bronze. And so I like having a little bit of that illuminator kind of next to my bronzer, and I'll just tap it into both a little bit. So for me, I apply my bronzer kind of like around my eyes, and then I might put a little bit just down my neck. Sometimes I hit my chin a little bit, but it's just going to give me sort of a bronzy, sun-kissed. It's a warm shade. It's going to give me some warmth to my face, and a little goes a long way. So you'll start to see, you can probably already see some of that warmth just coming back in to my face. All right, whatever I have left, just kind of pull some of that down my neck so that everything's even and looking nice. Okay, all right, so now I've warmed up, and I'm going to pair this one side of my face with just contour so you can see the difference of what contour is supposed to do. So I've just warmed up my face. Now contour is, instead of it being a warm shade, it's a cool shade. So basically it's there to create the appearance of shadows, or maybe just emphasize shadows that you already have there. And so it gives our face like a nice dimensional look rather than just a flat look. So I guess what I'll do is this side of my face, I'm going to apply contour in the places that I normally would. This is just 2 contour shades. You can tell I'm not, like, I got a lot of shades. You would not need this many. I just don't mind having this many shades for like just the variations that of skin tone that I have throughout the year. And I use 2 brighteners based off how, you know, how my skin's looking, what I'm feeling like that day. And there's a couple contours I can use. So yours doesn't have to be this large. You can start with like 4 or 5 basic colors just to have that 3D foundation, but you're gonna love it, and then you're gonna end up wanting a few more colors and kind of play around with it. So for me, as a general rule, contours, think of like a number 3 on your face, up here at your hairline, down your jaw or your cheekbone, and then your jawline. And there's already shadowing in those areas, so it's a very natural thing to kind of contour in that space by just kind of maybe emphasizing, or, you know, I guess emphasizing some of that dimension and therefore giving yourself a little bit more structure is what I'm trying to say. So you might even start to see that now. It's kind of like, I said emphasizing, and that was a bad word because really, to describe this, because really with the shadows I'm de-emphasizing that part and therefore like drawing more attention to the center of my face. But it looks very natural because, again, these are generally like where we have some natural shadowing and structure to our face anyways. And so I'm gonna go kind of right here, and I don't go in that far with my contour, just like right here. And it could be a little bit different for you based off of your face structure, but this is just kind of a general rule that works for a lot of us. And then I'm gonna just take whatever I guess I have here and emphasize or shadow my jawline. I need to stop using that word emphasize. Maybe I'll do just one side of my nose because I do contour my nose. I just don't know if you're gonna really be able to see the effect, you know, with just one side of my nose, but we'll give it a go. Okay, so I'm going to do the other side of my face, but before I do, can you see what I'm talking about with what contour is doing versus what bronzer is doing? So the bronzer has kind of warmed up my whole face, but if you can see this side, and maybe I'm looking through both my mirror and my phone, so it might, hopefully it's looking okay on the phone. And so this side of my face has just more depth, I guess, more structure is probably a better word for it. See? And it's still, like, so I'm gonna do my other side now, but hopefully you can kind of see what contour is showing up for rather than bronzer. So you can just wear your bronzer, that's totally fine, but contour just gives it that extra vavoom, that extra depth, that extra structure to your face. And I love it. And again, it is a very, this is a good example. Can you see that I already have a shadow there? It's kind of not as much here because I'm getting fluffy, but there's already natural shadowing. So I'm really just emphasizing that. I can't choose another word. And it looks natural because there's already a shadow there to begin with. Through the other side of my nose. And then I'll just kind of push it inward if I still need to blend. And then just kind of get it where you want it. Then kind of take a step back. What else do I want to do? If you ever feel like your lines are too harsh, this makeup is really forgiving. So just keep on blending if you feel like it's darker than you want, but don't overblend. I know contour can be scary and like we can have a tendency to just like blend it away. Don't do that. Embrace the structure. It'll all come together. Like if you feel like you need a little bit more coverage, just go in there with some more of your highlight. Want to kind of blend out my under eyes a little bit more. And then maybe just a little bit of blush. I'm not going for like a full coverage look really, just some coverage, light coverage, and I'm done. And that's it. I might use a little bit of this. This one's actually a cream eyeshadow. Saint has cream and powder eyeshadow, but I like having all my creams in one area. So I'm just going to take one of their cream eyeshadows, a very natural sort of bronzy shadow, and just put it all over my lid and call it done. So that's it. This makeup is awesome, and hopefully you can kind of see the difference through this demonstration of contour versus bronzer. And if you have not been color matched, I'll make sure to link that somewhere. I usually have my color match form all over the place. I'll put it in the comments. I'll put it when I post the video so that I can help you pick out your colors and you can start simplifying your makeup routine right away. A little bit of lip and cheek color and done. I hope you guys all have a beautiful day and talk to you later.